We keep on moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down. We keep on moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. Yeah, no, we ain't slowing it down.
Let's go. We ain't slowing down, baby. Come and show me how. Gotta do it right now. You know you gotta hold me down. Can I let the moment pass? Good things they never last. Pull up in a whip, you know I had to hit the gas. Yeah, that's premium. Pull up with a team and I'm ain't worried about the other side. They know that they ain't beating. I'm on everything I love. Work to the man above. Keep it cool, calm, collected. At this point, you get the message. Life is hectic, but we gotta keep it rolling. No, gotta keep it moving, keep it moving like we stole it. Though, rolling with the punches, giving hits like we are Interscope. Even though I'm clocking, punching in, I'm independent though. Staying prayed up, ain't nothing gon' phase us. Ain't never gon' let a lame say what they just made up. I never take a pay cut, we getting what we worked in. I never change the blueprint cause we know it's really working.
Keep on moving,
Moving,
we keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down,
Keep
never
on moving,
moving.
we keep on moving along.
Keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't
Keep it rolling, keep
slowing
it moving,
it
we
down.
ain't never gonna lose it. Cause we in it for the movement. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Don't play into their amusement. If we train, we ain't dying. Never sleep, never sleep, never. The moment that you rest your head, they think they can compete. If you gotta skip steps, then the plan is not complete. Get your reps in, get your reps in, get your. Never rest on a past success. You gotta love what you do if you tryna be the best.
Keep on moving,
Moving,
we keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it rolling.
We ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down, never
Moving,
moving.
we keep on moving
Keep it
along.
moving, keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling. Keep it rolling, keep it moving. We ain't never gonna lose it.
Who's been to Epstein Island, mate? Oh, yes. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever and whatever you're doing in the world. I hope you are well. I am allegedly GAZ X. Well, not allegedly, I am GAZ X. And this is my little hobby of streaming. And it's Monday. I hope you've had a fucking great weekend, everyone. I've had a really good weekend. Very, very good. It's been fine. The weather has been nice. Seems like the weather's going to get even hotter again. It's cooled down a little bit now, which is really nice. But it seems it's going to get really, really, really hot soon. Is it just me? Right. Now, this is a question. Is it just me? Or does it feel like something is about to happen? Something really not too pleasant. I don't know why, I've got a feeling. It's just like on the horizon. Something big, massive.
We are massive.
Something massive is going to happen. I don't know. I've just got a feeling. Is it just me? Let me know in the comments because you're obviously, if you're watching this after it's been live streamed, you'll probably watch it to this point and then go. But that's all right because that's what always happens. Too many laughs, Gaz. I know. It's a thing. Anyway, who's here? We got two shies here, everybody. Oh, yeah. And the wonderful, beautiful, marvellous, delectable, delightful, delicious, wonderfully awesome Beth Gish is here, everybody. Yeah, big up Beth. It feels a bit weird, don't it? It's a lot, isn't there? A lot of weird, I don't know. Some on the horizon. It feels like it to me. You know, we'll see in the next couple of weeks. Within, I don't think more than 8 weeks. I don't know. It just feels like it's just tiltering. Anyway, what do we got for you? Andy Burnham. Yeah, Andy Burnham. You know, the bloke who is now this bloke.
Imagine no more.
That fella, the new supreme leader of the UK, on about 25,000 votes in Makerfield, who's now the Prime Minister. Yeah, that bloke. He's just done his first interview. Yeah, he's just done an interview. Yeah, now I think he was 4 days in to his new role, and he's done it from 10. What do they call it? Is it 10? It's not 10 Downing Street. It's the North. 10 in the North, or so. They got some weird name for it. Really bizarre. It's really odd. And there's another thing about that. Apparently they rented this quite some time ago. So is this all fake? Is everything just fake now? I don't know. Maybe you could tell me. But anyway, we're going to have a quick look. Oh, Nazulium is here, everyone. Right. I don't know what that means. Nazulium says, I heard the farmers JN. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Maybe it's cryptic. It might explain. Let's hope he does. So anyway, we're going to look at it. We're going to have a quick look at this and see if there's any substance in here, which I very much doubt personally. But we'll have a look at it together. So this is Andy Burnham. We'll have a quick look at this, and then we'll see where we are from there. Okay.
Prime Minister, your springboard to power was being a very popular mayor here in Manchester, but now you represent all of us in the UK and all of us around the world at a time of huge turmoil. The UK's biggest ally is Donald Trump. How was your first call with him?
It was a good call. It was a warm call. Lasted for 15 minutes or so.
It was a good call. It was a warm call. It lasted all of 15 minutes. Marie Walker is here, everybody. Are you getting the sound? Are you getting the sound? What sound? What sound? Is my audio not working? I'm sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. I hope it is. Are you getting the sound? What sound? Everybody's talking to me cryptically now. It's really weird. But anyway, yes. So 15-minute call with the supreme leader in the Americano land. It's very warm. It was a very warm. When you ring somebody, does it normally last more than 15 minutes? I'm just saying. But anyway, we'll continue.
It was, it got us off to a good start. And obviously, it's a...
Hello? Is that the president? Yes, this is Donald J. Trump, the best president in the world ever, that's ever has been and ever will be. Are you the new, what do they call us? Limeys. Is it Limeys they call us? Is it Lime? I can't remember. Are you the new Limey in charge of that little hole over there? Maybe that's how it went. Are you going to do everything I want you to do? Of course I am, of course I am. Well, that's good then. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye. I think that's how it went. I can't get the sound for some reason. What sound? What sound? Put your speakers on. Marie Walker, have you gone deaf? Come on. I'm sure it's working. I hope it is.
A relationship
it is.
You take extremely seriously. I need to, build a way of working with the president that works for him, but works for us too. And I'll always be clear about where I think Britain's interest lies. I'm not going to go into this and not be clear about that. But I think it's always important. I'm somebody who tries to work with people, make that connection with people. I think we made an initial connection, and obviously we'll see where we go from here.
Do you think that you can trust Donald Trump?
Well, I've had one phone call, and I always...
Yeah, but you've seen the bloke. I mean, you've seen him. He's been around for a few years now. Are you not aware of him? Are you not aware of how untrustworthy at this point he really is? You know what I mean? It's not, in my opinion, the Trump Meister is not exactly the most. Me personally. No. But obviously, the new Prime Minister of the country, he's obviously not aware. He's had a 15-minute phone call. How will I know what he's like? Okay, fair enough.
Treat people as I find them, and it was a good exchange. It was, as I said before, it was a warm exchange. So I am that kind of politician. I always will judge people as I find them. I've lived my whole life by that, and I will continue to live my life by that. Sometimes, you get an impression of somebody from...
He's going to eat him alive, isn't he? Trump's going to eat this man alive. If he doesn't do exactly what Trump wants, which I'm sure he will, Trump's going to have him for dinner, for breakfast, and for lunch, and for supper. Trump's just going to muller him. There's a fly. There's always a fly, isn't there? There's a fly. Anyway, I'll try and kill it as we go along.
Media, I will judge as I find, and I found him to be really warm on Monday. But obviously, we will continue to build a relationship as we go forward.
But as things stand, you're not sure. So you're saying you'll feel your way. You're not sure at this stage that you can place your trust in him as a fellow leader.
Well, let's just put words in my mouth, shall we? Let's just, as the BBC loves to do, let's just put words in my mouth. We'll see how that goes.
Changing world, isn't it? And you just have to obviously call things as they develop. And I can't at any point say that I won't take a different opinion from him.
No, you won't.
That I will need to voice a different opinion that is right for Britain, and I will do that.
So you'd be willing to call Donald Trump out if you think that's the right thing?
No, he won't.
Of course. I mean, you've got to go into this.
I'll call him out.
Leaders have to do that. You have to defend your own national interest before anything else. That's what you're required to do if you're to do this job properly. I will always put Britain's interest first.
Look at the sign in the background, 10 North. 10 North. What is all that about? What is that about? Just move the whole thing. I've said this before. I have said this before, right? Move the... You've got areas in this country that are decimated. And one of the easiest fixes would be to take the wealth out of London, right? They're not going to do it. But move the whole of Parliament. Not just have an office called 10 North. Move everything. And that would regenerate into the poorest area in the UK. Or in England, rather. Not the UK. Right? Just move the whole lot. Why the BBC? Because the BBC won't throw many... Marie Walker says, why the BBC? Because the BBC are the propaganda arm of the government. That's what they are. There's going to be no seriously hard questions here, as you're going to witness.
And when you look at government spending... The cost of sickness and disability benefits for working age people is now almost as much as the defence budget.
Oh, they're straight on to the let's go for the disabled and people who are on benefits. Let's go for them immediately, right? Immediately, let's go for them. So this is going to be the theme going forward. This is where they're going to start targeting cuts, right? This is where because they've got to get money from somewhere. They've got a major war to sort out. And they can't just materialise the money from anywhere because we're in such a bad state financially as it is, privately and politically.
Are there people claiming benefits who, in your view, don't need them?
Yes, absolutely 100%. And they're here illegally and they're living in hotels that we're paying for with taxpayers' money. I'm sure that is not the answer you're going to get from this guy. I'm sure you're not going to get anything like that from this man. But the fact of the matter is, right, it's unsustainable. I will get into it after this, but I think he's been in for 4 days, I think, or 4 or 5 days, something like that. And there was 900 illegal immigrants that were picked. There was 135 on one rubber dinghy. 135 illegal immigrants that were picked up, and they'll be brought here and they'll be put into accommodation. They'll be given money. They'll be given everything, and it's costing tens of millions, allegedly, a day. A day. And they're illegal. What? And we need money. But that don't matter. So let's see. Is he going to address that? Or is that just going to be left to we're just going to ignore the elephant in the room. Let's not talk about that, right? We need to go for the disabled first, right? we need to go for the disabled and those who have paid into the system, but they're getting an employment benefit, or since the COVID has made them all messed up, right? Either mentally or physically or both. They're on some sort of disability or they're on some sort of benefits now because the strain of life is just horrendous for some people at the moment, which is understandable because it is pretty it's pretty crazy right now. If you don't, it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? If you're not finding that, well, I am, and loads of people I talk to. Marie Walker says it was 165, not 135. That was 165 illegals on a rubber dinghy in one sitting. One sitting. And she's talking about this. She's not mentioning that about money. No, let's not talk about that. Hey, BBC.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily go straight to blaming those people.
I would blame a certain group. I actually wouldn't blame them, because you can't blame somebody to come to a country who's going to get things for nothing and be looked after when they're coming from a place where, not necessarily a war-torn, they're coming from France, don't forget. They've travelled through many countries, many of them, safe countries, but they get in here. They want to come here because it literally is the land of milk and honey. Now, the only people you can blame for that are these lot, because these lot are allowing it. There's no other blame to be had. We have a navy. We can. They talk about protecting our people and protecting our borders. That is not how you go about it, and that's without speaking about legal immigration, which has gone off the scale as well, which has gone insane, right? And then people can bring their families, and then their families claim. So, you know, let's start at the people that absolutely should not be getting any money and shouldn't even be in the country. They should be deported, or something should be done with them, but definitely not spending over 10 million a day just for their housing, in my opinion. What do you think? Am I wrong?
Because, I mean, that is kind of implicit in what you are saying. What I would say is that there are people in the benefit system, young people in their 20s, who have been...
So now we're going to go for the young people. Oh, young people in their 20s. Young people in their 20s, right? You what? What? There's loads of jobs here, isn't there? There's loads of manufacturing here. There's loads of work here. There's loads of it. You know what I mean? Rents are affordable. Houses, you can buy a house. It's easy. Do you know what I mean? All that stuff, you know. There's loads of incentive to get a job and get on and just do, you know, and to work hard and strive. This for the young people of about 20. There's loads of opportunity for them out there, isn't there? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why would you? When you can look at people that have come here that shouldn't be here, and they're getting everything and you're getting nothing.
I would say, quite seriously let down.
Oh,
because
yeah.
the support wasn't there for them when it should have been there.
And that may be the cause. And I'm not suggesting you blame anyone, but the outcome for many people watching this is that they believe there are lots of people who are claiming benefits who don't necessarily need them. They could be making other choices. So I suppose my specific question to you is, do you think there are people in this country who claim benefits who don't need them, who could be making other choices for themselves?
Well, I'm certain, to answer your question, I am certain that there are people out there who, with the right support, can go into work. But I stress that point, the right support. They often don't get given the right support.
Does your plan for welfare, though, currently include reducing benefits from anyone who currently receives them, or removing them from anyone who currently receives them? Because there'll be some people watching this who thinks there are too many people on benefits who play the system. There'll be other people watching who might feel really anxious that...
Why aren't they talking about people that are getting millions and millions every day? I mean, we're talking tens of millions of pounds every single day. And the numbers are just increasing daily. But they're not even looking into that.
Benefits they rely on will be taken away from them.
It's about changing the nature of the support and making some of the support conditional upon people taking up.
It's already conditional. If you've ever been on ZDAL, as we used to call it, I don't know what it's called now, on benefits, you have to jump through loads of hoops. You have to look for jobs. You have to look for work. You have to do all these things. Do you know what I mean? As you won't get your money. And there are people that, you know, there's a lot of people with mental health issues now. It's loads. It's an explosion. But why focus on them first? Why don't you go to the ones that shouldn't be getting any money at all? Why don't you focus on them first?
Opportunities that are presented.
So you might increase the conditions required to receive benefits.
Has given guarantees of opportunities for young people, and I think we need to continue down that approach. The thing I'm just pushing back on is this idea that, you know, we go to a kind of crude approach, crude cuts to benefits to get the welfare bill down. Often that just pushes people into even more crisis and then even more.
And the thing is, the welfare bill ain't going to go near it. It ain't the welfare bill. It's massive, but it's not. That even if they was to take a quarter of those people off those benefits, the interest alone on the debt of this country is colossal. This is a hole they cannot get out of, no matter what they do. Well, war normally tends to solve those sorts of things.
Public spending in another part of the system.
You have this week doled out quite a lot of things that you hope people will like. People may well like them, capping bus fares, also promising to cap...
Oh, £2 a bus fare, brilliant. Where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from for that?
Cut taxes on pubs and take VAT off electricity.
VAT off electricity. And they can only do that because the UK is not in the EU. Did you know that? These are the people that wanted to stay in the EU. And the only reason they could do that cut, which is minuscule, right? The only reason they could do that is because we're apparently allegedly out of the EU. As they wouldn't have been able to do that anyway. We wouldn't be able to do anything if we were still in the EU. Did you know that? People have get back to the EU. What? So you can just go on holiday and you ain't got to worry about the borders and all that. Is that it?
But the country's problems and the country's debts are massive. There's defence we've discussed. You want finally to fix social care. We know you.
Social care. They're going to get onto the NHS. That's a whole new ball game. I mean, when the NHS was set up, right, it weren't meant to be like it is now. Again, all these people, there's loads of people that use the NHS that shouldn't be entitled to it. They shouldn't be entitled to it. You should at least be paying into the system to use these things. You know what I mean? It just beggars. It blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Care passionately about.
But I'm one of them though. I don't want to go near a hospital. I don't want to go near a doctor. I don't want to go near none of this stuff, especially after the the COOF, the old COVID. No. I don't want to go near none of it. I don't trust any of it.
That. Will you commit to creating a new social care system before the next election?
Of course, he ain't going to commit to anything. He can't. How is he going to commit to anything? He's only just got there. Two, there's no mandate. He hasn't got there. He hasn't got there stood on a platform of the things he's going to do or try and implement, is he? We don't really know what he's about. You know what I mean? Well, most of us would say he's a World Economic Forum puppet. You know what I mean? That's what most people are saying. And he's in the Fabian Society, isn't he? And their logo's a wolf in sheep's clothing. What does that tell you? Yeah, we all know there's a greater force behind all of these people. But let's have a look at the pantomime. It's something to do. It's my hobby.
I will go as quickly as I can on the reform
that's not the same.
of social care. Well, it's not, because a whole new system, which is what you asked, takes time. I think there are major changes you can make before the next election. People have long stays in hospital, which never should have happened in the first place.
Well, see, the thing that always gets me is this, with these politicians, right? The thing that always gets me, I think that, I can't remember when the NHS was like brought into being, you know what I mean? It was back, it was a long time ago, weren't it? But anyway, is it Bevin or somebody? Bevin? Something like that. If anybody knows how long, who's this? Frank Barron is here, everybody. No, we're not laughing at Frank. That was the wrong thing to do altogether. Stop it. Frank Barron is here, everybody. Sorry about that, Frank. What's Frank have to say? In Ireland, it is either unemployment benefit or job seekers allowance, and there is also carers allowance. There are probably other funds. The job seekers allowance for over 25 is £250. £250 a week? Really? That's quite good, isn't it? Right, what's this? Frank, Ukrainians get €616, don't need car insurance nor motor tax. No bother. Wow, that's incredible, mate. I didn't know any of that. Ukrainians get well, yeah. It's like pensions. A lot of these countries get better pensions than our people. You know what I mean? But yeah, so what was I saying before I pressed the wrong button on poor old Frank? So the NHS has been there. The NHS has been there for such a long time, right? And it's like everything. You'd think by now they'd know how to run it properly, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? wouldn't you think by now, see, if that was a corporation, like a proper, like, say, like I opened a medical centre, right? Or say for example, my great-great-grandfather opened a medical centre. And then, obviously, at the end of it, there's loads of hospitals. We've got hospitals, we've got also, and now it's mine, right? It's been left to me. The whole empire of medical in this country is left to me. And how would I be able to run it like they run it? You wouldn't be able to. It would all be gone. It would all go bankrupt. It would all shut down. It would all fail. It'd be a catastrophe, right? But you'd think by now, these people would have some grip on how to run something as important and as massive as that. But they don't. They haven't got a clue, have they? That's why it's just a big money pit. People are making fortunes off of it, and good luck to them. Good luck to them if you can come up with some little idea and then sell it to the NHS, and then you've got a factory or a little unit or whatever that's pumping out all this stuff for them, and you're employing people. Good luck to you. I met a bloke who got into that sort of thing. I don't know how. I haven't seen him for a long time. I don't know if he managed to pull it off in the end, but I'm sure if he did, him and his wife will be very rich now. But this is the problem. They don't know how to run anything. Not anything, do they? Let's face it. So let's see how he's going to fix this one. Because they've all been there for years and years and years, haven't they? All the different ones. And none of them are fixing it. It gets worse all the time.
And then they end up fit to go home but unable to be discharged because the social care isn't there.
So what are you going to do about it?
This costs the NHS billions of pounds.
No, it doesn't.
No,
No,
the NHS back.
No, it doesn't cost the NHS billions of pounds. It costs the British taxpayer billions of pounds. Get it right, mate. See, this is the language they use. Like, it's like the NHS has got a pool of money that the NHS has created. They haven't. We pay for it all.
To good waiting time standards until we fix social care.
And that's the point, though, isn't it? This is something, actually, in interviews, you and I have discussed this for 20 years.
Yeah.
There have been proposals on the table,
So they've discussed this for 20 years. You've had the discussion for 20 years, and it's still rubbish.
Similar proposals being put on the table time after time after time after time. This is about political will, is it not?
Yes.
And it's about being willing to put money onto it.
Yes.
So you don't.
They're always putting money into it, and he goes, "What does it do?" Do you remember was it the PIP when they got the hospitals built and they had to sign these like leases, and it cost terrible deals. Absolutely horrendous deals these people have signed but people have made billions out of it. You know, at the upper end, they've made billions. Don't get me wrong, good luck to them. If that's how you've made your money, fair enough. But do you know what I mean? It's just like, they just haven't got a Scooby, have they?
Maybe suggested need to wait for new proposals. This is about whether or not you as a new Prime Minister want to commit to it, want to commit taxpayers' money to it, want to commit political energy to it. And you might not have time.
Whatever political capital I have, I will put in to fixing broken social care. And I would not want to leave office without having brought in the substantial change, the new system of social care that you described. I can't put a timeline on it right here, right now, but I know actually, not just for the needs of the people who need social care support and work within that system. If we don't do it, the NHS will collapse under the weight of trying to care for people who've really not really needed to end up in the NHS system.
And the reason that politicians...
What? So like people that say like, I need to have my bits cut off because I'm something that I'm not. You know what I mean? Because then they get all this. Is that all on? Do they do that on the NHS? I don't know. I think they used to, didn't they? They do all sorts of things on the NHS, don't they? Which realistically are very questionable. Very, very questionable. You know what I mean? And a lot of money gets, spaffed on all this stuff.
Politicians have often shied away from it. It's because of the money. And the price tags in this country for lots of big things are huge.
Monstrous.
And lots of things that you care about are expensive and costly.
But we're paying for social care at the moment.
And should the wealthy in this country get ready to pay more tax in Burnham's Britain? You've even got Gary Lineker, who you did an interview with the other day, saying he and his few of his rich pals should pay more. Maybe on their property?
So this is now, see, this is what I mean. This is what I said the other day when Gary Lineker and them other Herberts came out and said, well, we should be paying more tax. Us millionaires should be paying more tax. Well, you can pay more tax. You don't have to ask permission to pay more tax. You can just get in touch with your accountant and say to your accountant, I want to pay more tax to the UK. Right? And I'm sure they'll arrange it. And I don't think the tax office will have anything to say about it. They'll just go, give us your money. Thanks very much. But this is just to soften everybody up. All this is because they have got to. They've got no choice. There's no way out of all this. The government hasn't got enough imagination, right? There isn't. They just don't know how to do it. The only thing they think they can do is they can tax everybody. They'll start with the rich, right? But the rich can leave. The rich, I mean, if I was a multi-millionaire, I wouldn't, if Gary Lineker was going, we should all pay more tax, I'd be like, oh. Especially if I made my money myself. Do you know what I mean? It weren't given to me, handed down to me, you know, through generations. But they hit them people as well anyway. Inheritance taxes and all that stuff. So they've got to raise taxes. This is just to get everybody ready because they're going to go for them first, which they will leave. Or they've got ways of getting around it anyway because they're rich. That's why they're rich. They're clever with money. They've made their money. They're clever with money. They've got accountants. They've got offshore accounts. It's a losing battle. It's a losing battle. They need to go back to basics, in my opinion. They need to start where they shouldn't be paying out money whatsoever. And that is for somebody, in my opinion, that's entered this country illegally and shouldn't be getting a penny for nothing. For nothing. You shouldn't even be here. Get out. That is my opinion. Don't know if you agree with it or not, but that's what, if you've got a better idea, if you're going to start making cuts, start making cuts right there.
Wealthy be ready to pay more tax on their assets and their properties?
I'm 4 days in. I mean, you're asking me now to...
Yeah, but you're 4 days in, but you've got the job, mate. You know, this is why people wanted to see what you're going to do. This is why people haven't had an opportunity to vote for you, because you're 4 days in and you don't really know what you're going to do. Well, if you don't know what you're going to do, how do we know what you're going to do?
Right, you know, the next budget or, you know, the next manifesto.
Well,
because I have a manifesto and I'm serious about sticking to the manifesto.
But you said there was room for manoeuvre on tax, and I'm asking you because you've often argued very clearly that there should be more tax, whether on property or land. You're interested passionately in fixing social care, which is a very costly thing to do. We know the country's debts are enormous. The demands on defence are enormous. So there's lots of economists that would look at that and say...
The demands on defence are going to get even more colossal. That's why the guy who's now in charge of all the money, that's what he was before. He was in charge of like the military stuff, weren't he? He was defence guy, and he resigned because... purely because he didn't get enough money from Starmer, you know what I mean? But now he's in charge of the money, and this is it all comes together. This is when you see what they're doing, it's quite easy to see where they're going.
You've got to find money from somewhere. So I'll ask again: should Gary Lineker and wealthy friends be ready to pay more tax? Because you said before, maybe they will have to pay a little more.
Let me answer it this way. You know, there are people here in Greater Manchester who pay a much higher council tax than people living in much larger homes in London. So the Chancellor, before, Rachel Reeves, was right to start to reform council tax.
And what did you do with her? You got rid of her straight away. You got in and got rid of her. Why? See, this is the problem with these people. So Rachel Reeves, Rachel from accounts or whatever, all right, so the dodgy bits with the CV and all the rest of it, like most of them, all the rest of it. So when she's in there, so she might have got a grip on it, maybe, doubtful, but maybe. But now she's gone. So she hadn't had a chat, so that's done. So she's gone now, so now we're going to have another one in, and we're going to have to wait and see what that one's going to say now. What's that one going to do? When is the next budget? You know what I mean? I don't know how the UK stock market hasn't crashed at this point with all this catastrophe. This is without all the other stuff in the world, all the wars and the lack of oil and fertiliser and all the other stuff that's going on right now. This is just this little bit. I'll tell you, I think something's going to happen very soon, me.
Some fairness there in relation to people in homes that are much greater value, who haven't seen their council tax go up over the years because of the failure to revalue the banding. So, that's an example of something that I think was right.
So you would look at reforming the council tax system?
But I am also saying to you that we need to honour the manifesto upon which Labour was elected. And if I was to bring forward any changes, obviously, people would rightly say, well, is this consistent with that manifesto? So, there are big decisions ahead. You are right about that. I need to be very prudent when it comes to the public finances. I will stick to the fiscal rules.
When it gets to difficult decisions, the public in the last couple of decades have, in many cases, felt that politicians haven't listened to them when it comes to decisions about immigration. Under the current government plans, the suggestion is that people in this country legally, migrants, might have to wait 10 years or perhaps more before they...
Well, you're talking about the illegal ones first. Before you jump to the legal ones, why don't we discuss the illegal ones? Why can't we get to that little nugget?
...are allowed to stay. Will you carry on with that plan? Is that the right approach?
Well, that proposal...
Well, hang on. Let's talk about the boats. Can't somebody say to him, look, the other day, 165 people came on one dinghy and just wandered in, and there's loads of money being spent on that. Why wasn't that said?
Has been under consultation.
And what's your view as the new Prime Minister?
Well, I come in and I am listening to people's views and we'll come to a fair resolution. The point being, though, I think the worry that people have is the feeling that it's out of control and that we don't have a grip as a country, and therefore we don't have the right procedures.
So you might
place.
look again, though you're not persuaded that that's the right plan, because people might be worried about that.
I'm going to look at what's been said during the consultation. I am not somebody
What about illegal immigration?
If you like, doesn't recognise the public call for firmer control of the immigration system. And I actually heard this from people, again, in my constituency.
Where he got 25,000 votes, more or less, and that got him to be the Prime Minister. How's that work?
I mentioned social care before, and I see people contributing to our society by working in social care, who've in many cases come from around the world to work there or work in the NHS. I don't think people actually say that is something that we don't want. We want people, when they're here and making a contribution, to be able to be, if you like.
What about the ones that are here and they're not making a contribution? What about them? Should we just get rid of them then? Can we do that?
Like supported.
But you said clearly you're not yet persuaded that that is the right way to go, so that people will be interested.
Well, I'm looking at the consultation. I think it's fair enough for me to say
I'm looking
4 days into the job where there
I'm 4 days in. Give me a break,
discussions
love.
going on.
I another dinghy turns up.
Look at the situation and say,
don't look at that.
Let me see what people are saying. Let me see the balance of the arguments. And I think people would expect me to bring a new pair of eyes to these issues and find where the fairness is and the right point of balance. And that's why I have put a pause on the early release scheme. It's why the review I've initiated is real. If changes are needed, I will make them. And that's the approach I'm taking. I point to that issue just because I think that's a fair way to go when I've just come into the role.
One of the things that is also on your desk is a conflict on the edge of our continent. The Ukraine war rages on.
Yeah, it rages on all right. And, none of us had a say in any of this, did we? Again, where has there been a well, it doesn't matter anyway, because they all want the Ukraine war, don't they? They all want to go to the whole of Europe wants Russia. It's going to be a right shit show. That's on the cards, if you ask me. That's the one. That's the top of my bingo card. World War III.
Would you take a call from Vladimir Putin?
Frank, it's been great to have you here, mate. Hope to see you again. Cheers for coming by. See you later, mate.
I would.
Would you take? She just said, would you take a call from Vladimir Putin? Well, as Prime Minister of the UK, he should absolutely do that. If Vladimir Putin was to ring him, he should absolutely not even hesitate to take that phone call, because that is in the public interest and the interest of this country. But listen what he says.
Have to know the circumstances in which that was being requested. So it's hard to answer that question directly. I would obviously want to, first and foremost, take my lead from the person that I would want to hear from, who would be President Zelensky, who will be...
So we're under a Zelensky's authority now then. So he's just said, right, she just said, if Vladimir Putin was to ring you, will you take the phone call? Well, basically, he's just said, if Zelensky says it's okay. You fucking what? You what?
What?
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're at the hands of Zelensky. What is going on? He's supposed to be the Prime Minister of the UK. He should absolutely go. He should have gone, yeah, I'll take the phone call. We'll try and get this sorted out. I want to help in any way to stop this war. But no, they don't want to stop it. They want it to roll on. Whether it's all by design on all sides, I don't know. But I don't think it's going to be very good for normal people like you and me. I certainly don't.
Coming here, I look forward to welcoming him. Again, I pay...
Yeah, because he's just visited today. He's the first foreign bloke, you know, of any substance. You know, I was going to say dignitary, but I don't really, you know. But anyway, you get what I mean. And who's the first one to come from abroad to see him? Zelensky, on his way to Americano land. It's all brewing.
Tribute to the former Prime Minister who gave him huge personal support. He will get exactly the same from me. I would do nothing, absolutely nothing, to undermine him in the conflict in which he is in. You know, my support for Ukraine is unwavering. It is 100%, and I will do what in Ukraine people think is the right thing that they need. They will have in me a loyal support, and I would do nothing that cuts across that position.
You are very, very busy now as Prime Minister, and our time is almost up. But you say you coming to power will be the biggest change this country's seen in 4 decades. Thing is, 25,000 people voted for you in Makerfield.
Yeah.
The 48 million people in the electorate in this country haven't had a chance to have a say.
48 million people, right? That's what who are eligible. Haven't had a say. This is telling.
On any of your plans. Do you rule out having a general election before 2029?
There's no early general election. And the thing I would say to you is 20 plus, how many million people you just mentioned, voted for a
48.
manifesto. We're in a parliamentary democracy. So that is what people voted for. And I've got the support of colleagues in Parliament, and it's a parliamentary democracy that we're in.
Rule it out?
Well, I'm going to rule it out. Yeah, there's no early general election.
There's no general election. You're stuck with me.
You're
stuck with me.
The opinion polls might say
because
there's some people
we
do,
are
some
the
people
dictatorship.
don't. But the thing is, I just think what I most need to do is get Britain focused on getting the country back where it should be.
Where is that? Where is this country supposed to be? Can somebody identify that? Because he surely don't.
It working, and I do want to be serious about this point. A new politics. We've got to bring back some hope in people's lives. I'm all about bringing back that hope, taking pressure off their shoulders, as I've done this week or made a start this week. But I know there's so much more to do. But I don't think we get there by going back into another sort of divisive process. Let's all face forward together and get this country working again.
Prime Minister, thank you very much indeed for your time today.
Because what it'll be is this, won't it? It'll be absolutely this.
Imagine no more.
Imagine no more. But don't worry, you're not getting a general election. No, we're in. You're stuffed, and that's it. And we're going to do what we do, and we'll wing it all the way till the bitter end. So yeah. So the next bit then, yeah, which is very yeah. Look, I've got it here. I'll just do this bit quickly. Just to prove my point, it says, actually, record 128 people cross-channel in one small boat. So there.
Imagine no more.
Can I imagine that you'd get rid of all them lot and stop paying for all that? Can I imagine that, please? Is that an imagination? Was that a bit imagining too far? Yeah, so there it is. A small boat crossed the English Channel on Friday carrying 128 people, the largest ever recorded number, to make the journey in a single vessel. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? So there that is, just to prove my point on that one. So who arrives now today in the UK? Well, let's have a look. Zelensky arrives in UK ahead of meeting with Burnham. Now, this is wild, right? When I read this, I couldn't believe what I was reading. It's not just coming here. He's going off to Americano land, right, to go and sort out with the Trump stuff. But look at this. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has arrived in the UK, where he will meet Andy Burnham as the new Prime Minister's first international visitor. Ooh. Burnham has pledged to continue the UK's unwavering support for Ukraine, while Number 10 said the meeting on Monday illustrates the strength of the relationship between the two nations. They will visit a naval base where Burnham will announce the sharing of the intellectual property behind the UK's new Stone Cloak electronic warfare system, enabling Ukraine to produce the technology at scale. What do you think Russia's going to make of that? What do you think Russia's get? So we're at war with Russia. I mean, we've been at war with Russia, in my opinion, for some time now. And how long is it going to be before the Russians have just had enough? Because now we're helping them now. We're helping them now get technologies that are going to that are directly interfering with Russia and them as in a war. Right? It's direct. We've been doing it for ages anyway, haven't we? Burnham told the BBC, he said the key priorities of the trip were air defence, maritime security and joint defence production that strengthens both countries, adding, we appreciate that we can always count on principled decisions, leadership and support from Britain. Burnham told the BBC's Laura Kensberg ahead of the visit that he was looking forward to the meeting. He's got unwavering support, blah. The Stone Cloak jammers are the size of a tablet computer and are designed to block the detection of any drones they are fitted to. The Ministry of Defence has already given thousands of the devices to the Ukrainian forces to bolster their drone operations. Now, so they're already doing it, right? They're already doing it, and it's a technology we've created. Right, so where is it? Hang on. So let's have a quick look at this then, right? So now we've given them technology that can help them maneuver their drones through Russian airspace deep into Russia and attack. And this is the outcome. 5 killed in Ukrainian drone strike, Russian governor. Now this is where it gets really, it's gonna get very muddy. Kiev has stepped up attacks on civilians while political and military turmoil deepens in Ukraine. A Ukrainian drone attack killed 5 civilians in the Russian city of Rostov-on-Don overnight, according to the regional governor. Yuri Shloya, he said a married couple and a child were among the victims. Kiev has stepped up its long-range strikes as part of Volodymyr Zelensky's 40-day pressure campaign announced more than a month ago. The campaign has included repeated attacks on e-retailer Wilburys, which Ukrainian officials say are intended to make Russian civilians feel more consequences from the conflict, as well as strikes on commercial vessels. So that's happening, right? So we've got all this going on. That's happening. And then not only that, so this is tying up even more now. So I'm going to tie in a bit more for you now, right? So then you've got this. Have a look at this. Ukraine dismisses Iranian threats as Caspian Sea strike directly links wars. So they reckon, right, I've read things in different places. Now, allegedly, all this, I don't know 100%. But allegedly, right, what's happening is the Israel, some are saying it's Israel putting them up to it to do it. But anyway, the Ukraine attacked some Iranian, right, vessels.
What?
Yeah. The Ukraine now they've attacked Iran. See where this is going? Just see where this is going. Do you see it now? Right? It's unbelievable. Ukraine has dismissed Iranian threats of retaliation. The Iranians are going to say they're going to retaliate against Iran. Against Ukraine. So are the Iranians going to start launching long-range missiles? What the... This is getting out of hand, man. Ukraine has dismissed Iranian threats of retaliation following Kiev's targeting of an Iranian cargo vessel in the Caspian Sea on Saturday. The incident marked the first direct link between the wars in Iran and Ukraine. It's getting crazy, people. Iran's threats are unjustified and groundless, Ukraine Foreign Minister Adril Shibia posted on X this afternoon. The regime in Tehran, so where's the regime, innit? Not the government, the regime. The regime in Tehran is a direct accomplice to Russian aggression against Ukraine, fueling Moscow's criminal war with weapons that have killed Ukrainians since 2022, he wrote, referring to the start of Russia's full-scale invasion. Well, it weren't at the time, was it? It weren't that, you know. President Volodymyr Zelensky on Saturday announced that Ukraine forces had achieved very good results in long-range strikes in the Caspian Sea, including against vessels used to transport military cargo linked to Iran. They're going for everything. They're going for everything. This is fucking going to escalate, mate. There ain't no way this ends. I can't see it not. The Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, said it's drones, again, it's drones with our technology that are making them evadable detection, apparently. This cloak thing, right? So that's going to please the Russians, and that's going to please them. You know, when the Russians are all sitting down and they got Putin and if he wants to ring Burnham to say, look, can you stop supplying them with, and he ain't even going to take the phone call, unless Vladimir says it's all right. Yeah, yes, Andy, you can take the phone call, but you must tell him he can go. His mother's. Hey, that's what you tell him, Andy. Tell him we're all going to have him. You know what I mean? House Burnham's like, no, I ain't taking, I ain't putting that through, no. Tell him to ring GAZ. GAZ will talk to him. The security service said its drones had hit an oil platform in the northern Caspian Sea, another oil platform, along with Russian missile boat and cargo ships that are under international sanctions. Iran's ambassador to Russia told Iran's state news agency that the Anna ship had been anchored about 5 kilometres, 3 miles from the mouth of the Volga River when it was targeted. Ukraine's ambassador to Israel, said the vessel had been carrying components for drones and missiles from Iran to Russia, not civilian cargo. So, they can attack it in their eyes because it's containing components. We are supplying components to Ukraine to go in deep inside Ukraine and kill civilians. They're killing all sorts, they're blowing up all sorts, right? They're in the Caspian Sea blowing up stuff, Iranian stuff. See what I mean? Bit precarious, isn't it? Really, don't you think? I certainly do think. Yeah. And then, in Iran, with all of a sudden, for the last 3 days, so Americano land was bombing the hell, weren't they? Out of Iran, apparently. And Iran were firing off all over, killing, just blowing up stuff everywhere, apparently. Well, I weren't there, I don't know. I'm just telling you what it's been said. But then you see this, right? Trump rejects reports of US missile shortfall. So let's have a look at this. So what's going on here? Why did they stop attacking? What's going on? Several media outlets earlier claimed that dwindling supplies are stalling a wider assault on Iran. US President Donald Trump has denied that American military is struggling with dwindling munitions as it continues its war with Iran. What do you think? Are they struggling with their munitions? Are they struggling with getting Iran under manners after all that the Trump has said? If they've won, how many times have they won all this? Right? You know, but Andy Burnham had a 15-minute phone call and it was very warm. It was very warm. Yeah, we'll see how we get on. It'll be fine. Following reports, the low interceptor. Right, it continues. The remarks came as a rare pause in the fighting entered a third day, following reports that low interceptor stocks were forcing the White House's hand in the conflict. On Sunday, the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal reported that Trump had held off on a major attack on Iran over concerns that the Pentagon is running low on air defense missiles. In a statement to the Wall Street Journal, Trump pushed back on the claim, saying, We have far more emissions than anyone in the world, and far more than we need. He did not provide details. Of course he didn't. You got more missiles than you need, haven't you? Of course you have. US Ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz, equally dismissed the concerns, telling the broadcaster NBC, I want to be crystal clear, the US military, and I verified this every which way, has everything that it needs to conduct this campaign as effectively as it needs to be. He added that the people that are leaking this nonsense deserve to be in jail. According to the WSJ, a planned 2-week campaign of intensified attacks on Iran was shelved to give diplomacy some space. And Trump may ultimately order the resumption of strikes. The paper reported that Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Dan Kane had informed the White House of the declining inventories, and that while Kane believes the low stocks would not preclude a resumption of major combat operations, they would add to the risk. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, are they running out of them? Are they running out? Is that why they stopped? They've been stopped for the last 3 days because they ain't got enough stuff. Is that what's happening? I don't know. Nobody knows. Can you trust what Trump says? I doubt it. Would you trust what Trump says? I doubt it. Is everything else he said been legit? I don't think so. Anyway, on another note, you might loathe these people, you might like these people. I'm not making judgment either which way. I saw a 3-hour YouTube video that was to be released if anything happened to the Tates, right? I'm sorry if they're not your flavour of stuff, but I find it very fascinating what's going on. I'm not going to get into it whether they've done something or not, but I saw that 3-hour thing, and he made a 3-hour thing, and he laid a lot of stuff out. I don't know if you saw it. It was a great YouTube thing, right? And he said this is to be released if anything happens to him. And something happened, so it was released. I don't know if you know, the Tates have been rearrested because they're trying to extradite them from Americano land to the UK, right? To answer more fresh charges of all these things. But the UK apparently, allegedly, hasn't given them any information, who they're supposed to have done things to, when they're supposed to have done it, what they're exactly supposed to have done. Nothing, right? And Tate went through all this in his 3-hour thing. Now, that 3-hour thing, I think, was pulled down. And now it's like an hour and something. But I watched the full 3-hour one, and it was fascinating. Honestly, fascinating. I wish if I'd have knew it was going to get pulled down, I'd have recorded it. But anyway, have a quick look at this before I go. Tate brothers. Oh, that's one. Oh, we'll get into that in a second. Tate brothers, lawyers, and prosecutors to set schedule for UK extradition fight. Now, the other thing I find fascinating with this is, you remember the Epstein files? This is in the Epstein files, mate. Everyone! Oh, yeah, everyone's in them, haven't they? But nobody's been arrested, have they? Nobody's been arrested in the Epstein files. Let's just bear this in mind before we cast judgments over here, shall we? Nobody's been arrested in the Epstein files. But these two have been picked up. And they're fighting now to be extradited. They're trying to fight extradition to the UK, where we all know if they end up over here, they're getting 20 years. How ain't they? This is the UK. People get 3 years for stickers. They're going to get about 500 years, whether they've done it or not. And me personally, what do I think? I'm not going to get into it. But I don't trust the system to give them a fair shot. I really don't. If they had anything on them, surely they'd have been done in Romania. They'd have been done in Romania when the Romanians had them. And the Romanians couldn't close the case. And he goes through all this. Why? If you get a chance, watch that YouTube video. I think it's only an hour, and you might not get it. You ain't going to get as much into it. Because obviously YouTube have said, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that. So they've had to it's had to be re-uploaded in a shorter edit. But it's fascinating stuff. I feel for the lads, really, personally. Lawyers for social media influencers. I mean, just listen how they describe these lads, right? This tells me everything I need to know. Lawyers for social media influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate are set to meet US federal prosecutors in Miami to work out a schedule for the process of fighting extradition to the UK, where the brothers are accused of rape and sexual trafficking. A date for a bond hearing will likely be set during the status conference, along with other important dates such as deadlines for filings and formal extradition hearing. The process could potentially take months. The Tates made a brief court appearance 2 days after their arrest on July the 18th. They are not required to attend Monday's conference, and their lawyers said on Friday that the Tates have not planned on being there. They are being held in a federal detention across the street from the courthouse, apparently in solitary confinement, and they're not even found guilty of anything. It's mental. It's mental. The Tates promote wealth. Listen to this. This is what cracks me up, right? This is what makes me wonder about everything, right? The Tates promote wealth, male dominance, and misogyny through their social media empire and are among the world's most polarizing internet personalities. Anyway, it goes on and on and on, but that's me. I'm done. That's me for today. Very interesting. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll be back tomorrow, 7 o'clock UK time. If you got this far, please subscribe. I don't know why I ask. I'm losing subscribers. I'm not gaining them, I'm losing them, and I've only got a few anyway, but it's which is funny. I think every time I say Trump's a dodgy one, then people just leave. It's brilliant. Anyway, it is what it is. You know, I'll do what I do. It's just my hobby, and I see things how I see them and say them as I see them. Hope you're here tomorrow. Give it a thumbs up if you can. That helps as well. Just lets me know somebody's watching. Thank you for all of you who have been in the chat. It's been great to see you, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Take care, everybody. Hopefully we'll be around by tomorrow at 7 o'clock at this rate, eh?
We keep on moving. We keep on moving along. We keep on rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down.
We ain't slowing
keep
down.
on moving. We keep on moving along. We keep on rolling.
Yeah,
No, we ain't slowing it down.
let's go. We ain't slowing down, baby. Come and show me how. Gotta do it right now. You know you gotta hold me down. Can I let the moment pass? Good things they never last. Pull up in a whip, you know I had to hit the gas. Yeah, that's premium. Pull up with a team and I ain't worried about the other side. They know that they ain't beating. I'm on everything I love. Work to the man above. Keep it cool, calm, collected. At this point, you get the message. Life is hectic, but we gotta keep it rolling. No, gotta keep it grooving, keep it moving like we stole it. Though, rolling with the punches, giving hits like we are in a scope. Even though I'm clocking, punching in, I'm independent though. Staying prayed up, ain't nothing gon' phase us. Ain't never gon' let a lame say what they just made up. I never take a pay cut, we getting what we worked in. I never change the blueprint, cause we know it's really working.
Keep on moving.
Moving,
We keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down,
Keep
never
on moving.
moving.
We keep on moving
Keep
along.
it moving, keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't
Keep it rolling,
slowing
keep it moving,
it
we ain't
down.
never gonna lose it. Cause we in it for the movement. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Don't play into their amusement. If we trying, we ain't dying. Never sleep, never sleep, never. The moment that you rest your head, they think they can compete. If you gotta skip steps, then the plan is not complete. Get your reps in, get your reps in, get your. Never rest on a past success. You gotta love what you do if you tryna be the best.
Keep on moving.
Moving,
We keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down, never
Moving.
moving.
We keep on moving
Keep it
along.
moving, keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling. Keep it rolling, keep it moving. We ain't never gonna lose it.
Who's been to Epstein Island, mate?